Our NCP WideNet networks, as I have mentioned, gather spreading excellence and widening NCPs. And it is one of the calls that is financed from the Horizon 2020 horizontal program, Spreading Excellence and Widening Participation. Why the spreading excellence and widening participation is actually there within the Horizon 2020. So already having the evaluation of the 7th framework program and the previous framework program, it was stated that there are huge disparities in research and innovation performance within the European research area. And there is a low participation in projects offers both. There was low participation offered by the 7th framework program, and currently we are in the middle of the Horizon 2020. We can observe the same trend. Actually, some are going further, some people are going further, and experts stating that even that gap is bigger than it used to be in the 7th framework program. And the gap relies in the lower participation of the entities from the EU 13 in favor of the entities from the so-called old member states. So the spreading excellence and widening participation should be a reply to that problem. It's addressing actually that gap and that problem. The barriers that has been so far identified, this is the low expenditure on research and innovation in the region of the EU 13. This is the lack of synergies between national EU policies, lack of funds for innovation in general. And the other point, which is very important, this is the insufficient internationalization of science, research and innovation within the region. So to address this problem and to tackle the barriers, the European Commission has developed, next to the Spreading Excellence and Widening Participation package, which is within the Horizon 2020, of course, other bigger instruments, which are Juncker Plan, as well as European structural and investment funds. And using all these instruments in the synergy should support dealing with the problem. Can I have next slide? Thank you. So spreading excellence and widening participation is dedicated to the collaboration between so-called widening and non-widening countries. So the countries within the European research area, which is the European Union and associated countries, has been divided according to a special widening indicator, which is related mostly to excellence in research, excellence in science. So the countries marked here in blue, these countries are considered as non-widening countries, so the countries with high excellence in research, and the countries marked in red are the countries with the lower performer in research. So these countries requires further support, special support, further support from the European Union, and require as well the transfer of knowledge, know-how, and collaboration with the non-widening countries. Under the spreading excellence and widening participation, we have then dedicated actions. We have teaming, which is dedicated to the institutions building in the region, so in the widening countries. We have twinning, which is dedicated to the networking between institutions from widening and non-widening countries. And last but not least, we have as well ERA chairs, which is about bringing excellence to the institutions located in widening countries. Apart from that, we have as well a very important instrument, which is COST. This is dedicated to the stimulating cross-border science network. And today we will have as well the opportunity to listen more on the cost itself and on its impact. We have a policy support facility, which is dedicated for the policy design in the region, and NCP project. These are we are in favor for all the stakeholders to support the creation of a favorable ecosystem in order to support better implementation of the widening actions. So if you go to the widening actions, you can see that they have a lot in common. All of them are about transfer of knowledge from experienced, established, excellent research units to those that still require the enhancement. This is about the institution enhancement, and a very important issue in regard to the spreading excellence and widening participation package. These are the links with the smart specialization. You cannot be good in everything. You should as well specialize. You should put priorities to certain domains, to certain sectors. Therefore, the widening actions always have at the back there is three concept, the smart specialization of the region. And in many of these actions, the synergies with structural funds is required, because the structural funds can be used to build potential, but as well they can be used as a complementary funding for the actions and as a leverage for the impact of the actions. Can I have next slides, please? Thank you. So now, just a few words about our network. So as I have mentioned, our network gathers NCPs from member states, associated countries. We have as well many associated partners, so that we are sure that we have the entire European research area covered. We started our activities in January 2015, and we will be in charge of supporting the ecosystem up to the December 2019. This is our project consortium, and what we do in particular, so our goal is to enhance and equal NCP services throughout the European research area, so though the applicants will have the opportunity to and the access to knowledge, experience and expertise at the very best level and the equal level across the European research area. We also try to deliver expertise on the package itself to applicants and stakeholders. So it means that we analyze barriers, we analyze bottlenecks, but we also promote success stories. We are trying to discuss the first lessons and trying to discuss the impact already of the package. And we offer the support, of course, to the research centers that would like to take part in widening activities, how, for example, organizing brokerage events or organizing events where they can share their experience and they can as well build consortia, build links. Our services in a nutshell, so this is what we do. These are the trainings for ourselves where we enhance the capacities. This is the widening expertise. We have already prepared two very nice reports. The first one is a benchmark report. We did an analysis of centers of excellence, both in widening and non-widening countries. We have collected several success stories from these regions, and we were trying to find out, actually monitor the process of building, of establishing a center of excellence, as well as we asked the centers of excellence on four main criteria. So to what extent they are able to attract finance to their own institution and to the region. Then we asked about fame. Fame is related to research excellence. This is related to the publications, also bringing renowned researchers from the regions, having PhDs, international PhD studies, and so on. So they have to be good, first of all, in the research excellence, but they have to be good as well in the financing, which supports their activities. We have asked about the framework, so how active they are in shaping regional ecosystems. Do they have influence on the regional innovation strategies? Do they are active in building clusters? Do they collaborate with industry in case of the research centers dealing with applied research? Do they have their own strategies on technologies transfer, their own strategy on the IPR protection, and so on and so on? And last but not least, we have as well asked the centers of excellence on FAS, so on barriers. So what's wrong inside and what's wrong outside? So which are the problems they are facing in the process of establishing a center of excellence in the European dimension? And the report is available to you at our project portal. It's very nice. I very much recommend you to have this lesson. It's also a very good lesson in terms of preparing proposals to the widening package, because it gives a lot of details on how the established centers of excellence are operating and how to tackle some problems. The other one we have prepared is the guide how to participate in widening activities. It says it should be soon available, but it's already available on our project portal. So we have analyzed all the widening actions I have mentioned and prepared for you. We have prepared for you some advices, how to prepare proposals, what are the important parts you should pay attention to, how you should address certain topics, center points indicated in the call for proposals. And last but not least, for all the widening actions, we have prepared for you as well success stories. and describe them. So you can see how they were successful, why they were successful, how they did it. Afterwards, within this report, we not only tackle the project preparation phase, but also we tackle the project implementation phase. So those of the beneficiaries, applicants who are successful and are already beneficiaries, may find as well something interesting for them in regard to the implementation phase, reporting, budget amendments, consortia, and so on and so on. So I very much recommend you to go to this part. And okay, this is still to the benchmark. I just wanted to highlight you a few points that were interested for us for this benchmark activities when we collected the success stories from the benchmark report and for our guide for applicants. For example, in regard to the finance, the centers of excellence, they always show high ability to obtain regional and national funds. However, many, if not most of them, are strongly depends on grants. So still they are not generating money, like for example via cooperation with industry or other partners, but the main source of finance is just to obtaining more and more grants. In regards to FAME, what is very significant is the modern infrastructure, especially in the region. So all the centers indicated this, yes, we have this infrastructure. And the success stories, each of them said that what's very significant and meaningful is the internationalization. We always put the emphasis to go European, to go global, and to build the links with international centers of excellence and researcher. However, still there is a lack of critical mass in regard to the international partners and agenda. So they are aware that they could do more in order to be more successful. Framework, most of the centers indicated that their research and innovation agendas are embedded in smart specialization strategies. So they are in line with what the region is doing, or they are sometimes even shaping. They are like forefronters of the development of the region. But many of them, they still have lack of IP strategy. They are lacking a recruitment strategy, and they have weak branding. So they are seen maybe in their small regions, but they are not recognizable at the European level. And this is the problem as well, to attract partners from abroad to the collaboration. And thus, both administrative burdens inside the organizations, huge old structures that make the fast collaboration or effective collaboration with external environment hardly possible. And from the external point of view, of course, still lack of funding for research and development in the region and in the countries. So that was our expertise, and now to the cross-border events. So we do these brokerage events. We had the first brokerage events this year at the WIRE conference. WIRE is the Week of Innovative Regions Week of Regions in Europe. This conference is taking place every year. It will take place in Slovakia next year, and most probably we will as well organize one of our cross-border events. These brokerages are dedicated to build consortia. Then we organize workshops where we discuss and dwell issues important for widening from the point of view of the widening package. And one of the most important issues is the synergy, of course, and building a favorable ecosystem. So we already had last year the first workshop. Yesterday and today in the morning we had the second workshop dedicated to synergies, and there is still third ahead us in the next years. And we have a workshop on aerators and mobility. The first one is today, but there are still two ahead us. So I think we will have a lot to discuss when we have as well more impact and more lessons from the widening package. So this is about our brokerage. And last but not least, we have developed a portal which is actually currently one-stop shop for the widening activities. This is the ncpwidenet.eu. Here you can find all the information related to the widening package. We inform about the calls open, but we also inform about significant events which are related to widening activities and synergies and which take place all over Europe. Here you can find relevant publications, not only developed by our project, so these two I have presented to you, but as well other important developed by, I don't know, colleagues from the GRC, which tackle the issue of the smart specialization. So we put everything here. I would very much recommend you as well to go to our portal. To subscribe to our social media. We have Facebook, we have LinkedIn. And last but not least, also, I would like to recommend you to subscribe to our newsletter. This is not a weekly, not a monthly, but this is a newsletter which is released according to the calls. So when the calls will be, we have released just the first one on the 31st of August, where we have presented all the findings we did so far, as well the first finding from the evaluation of the widening package and in form of the teaming call. And the next one will be just at the beginning of the next year, because the next year the calls on twinning and TerraShells will be open. So this is about our project portal once again. And thank you very much once again for coming, and I wish you, and I thank the NCPs, I thank very much the participants, I thank as well speakers and stakeholders, and I wish us all a fruitful discussion and good recommendations at the end of the day. And I would like to now pass the floor to Anna Woseczkowa, the Czech NCP on widening, who will further moderate the workshop for us.